Hello, everybody. Becky Brett here, your executive coach for nonprofit leaders and other impact-driven leaders. I'm still getting myself situated for today's live stream. I'm so excited to come here and talk to you, talk with you, be here with you today. It is hot now. That's the reason why I schedule these early in the day, because it gets really, really hot here as the day goes. Not really, really hot. I mean, I don't know. It'll probably be in the mid 80s today, like it always is. But by this time of day, it's starting to get steamy. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a blanket of hair on me. And I could put it up, but then I don't know. I might put it up halfway through. We'll see. So, hello. Thank you for being here. As I mentioned, my name is Becky Brett. I'm an executive coach for nonprofit leaders and other impact-driven leaders, social entrepreneurs, anyone who is in business, in leadership for a mission versus strictly profit. And I have some things to say about our industry and about leadership, especially now. And so this is my platform to share those things with you. I debated about whether or not to go live today because even though I have coached 150 organizations and helped them raise over $37 million, even though I have affected 1.3 million lives in the work that I've done. I mean, I don't even know, like, with the organizations I've worked with, like what that exponential factor is. Millions of people have been affected by the work that I get to do. I'm struggling today with some personal things, with some, mostly personal things, which I'm not going to go into here. But I will say that just because someone lives in paradise doesn't mean we don't have bad days. And the last few days have been pretty challenging. So I wanted to show up here because even though I'm struggling, I have an amazing team and an amazing network. And it is because of that network I've built that I'm still able to show up here in service to my clients as well, even an hour late. And that's okay. It's okay. And also it would be okay if I didn't show up today. So I just want to let you all know, anyone who's struggling right now with balancing their personal struggles with their business and with fulfilling their mission, which is so important. I want you to know that whatever the right balance or harmony is for you is what's right for you. So, if you need to take the day off and just hermit yourself in bed, that's what you got to do, even as the leader. This is why it's so important that our teams are empowered to continue doing their work, whether or not we are there. That also, though, so this is a very deindustrialized way of looking at things, because I'm Gen X, and we were trained to show up no matter what. No matter what, you show up and do the work. And that is not healthy. That's not a healthy way of being. So to deindustrialize your leadership is to allow these off days and to allow yourself rest. If you've listened to me on my previous podcast or any other live streams or videos, I'm a big fan of Sean Achor and The Happiness Advantage, his book. And in that book, he states that happiness is not the result of hard work, it's the requirement for hard work. And I would add that rest is a requirement for hard work. It's not your reward for working hard. So that's just something else to keep in mind. Okay, what do I want to talk about today? see, normally I would be talking about, like I would mention something about Hawaii. And right now, I think it's to say that no matter where you live in the world, there are lots of beautiful places in the world. I happen to live in one of them. And even though I live in a beautiful place, um, I'm still a human being and have human problems. And we have bad days in Hawaii too. Um, so I think if you're having a bad day wherever you are, I want you to feel some love and encouragement from me, and to know that you are so divinely supported. Regardless of your religious beliefs, I am a very spiritual person, and I believe I am divinely supported, and I believe you are too. And it's leaning into those divine networks, sometimes more than the human networks, that get us through these trying times. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is why your board should not be fundraising. I know it's a little controversial. Let me just pull up my notes because I want to be sure to give you everything that I have on this topic. And that may mean me looking at, well, it will definitely mean me looking at my notes. So let me just pull those up. I have them. Oops, not those notes, these other notes that I have. Come on now. I'm going to move you over here. You get to watch me move. Well, watch my eyes as I move things around my screen. And that's totally cool too. Okay. So why your board shouldn't be fundraising. Okay. I know I'm on a kick about this right now because that is what I hear the most is that oh gosh, when nonprofit leaders reach out to me, it's often out of frustration because they don't feel the support of either their board or their team. And that's my job as a coach, is to support you in what you're working on and to help you achieve the things that you want to achieve. So when they come to me and the subject is my board's not fundraising and we need money, my board's not fundraising. It's a hard thing to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway. Your board should not be fundraising for you. And let me explain what I mean by that. This doesn't mean that they are completely absolved, because the board is fiscally responsible for the organization. And I think that there is some role confusion involved when your board is not fundraising and you're like, but my board should be fundraising. So when you go to your board and you're like, you should be fundraising, probably what they think in response is, but isn't that what we hired you for? Your job is to actually be the one to ask for money. And your board's job is to make the connections that will make it possible for you to ask for money. So their job is introductions and advocacy. So the next development committee meeting you have, or fundraising committee meeting you have, focus on connections and advocacy. So they should be introducing you to people who care about the same thing you care about, regardless of what they think that person's giving capacity is. Because you don't know, they might not even know. So they should be introducing you to people who care about the same things. That way you can develop that relationship separate from your board member, and then determine if a gift or a donation is feasible. Advocacy means that they talk about you in glowing terms to the people who they know, and they are proud. They feel proud to represent your organization, and it is very clear to them what your organization does. Like, they should be able to talk about what your work in very simple terms. What will help with this is, I think last week I mentioned having a story bank is really helpful for that kind of thing. So you equip them with the right tools. So last week we talked a bit about tools. This is also a great time for you to mention, I have a tool for you to share with them, and it is thank you scripts for your board, thank you call scripts. Because one of the easy ways to get them involved in fundraising is to ask them to make thank you calls to a few people every week to thank them for their donations. Okay, so when let's talk about role confusion and how to avoid that in the future. Like, you may be stuck with it for now, but there are ways that you can fix it as the leader. And the first, and I think I mentioned this last week too, the first is to start at the recruitment stage. So when you are recruiting new board members, make sure it is very clear what their role is versus your role, even if they serve on other boards, even if they are the CEO of a big company. Be clear what the expectations and the roles are with your organization, because you may be different. Not everybody has board dues. Not everybody has advisory committees. Not everybody has working committees. So make it very clear in the recruitment stage, even if it means not recruiting that board member, even if it means they say no to you. Also, do you like my mug? Yeah, I woke up sexy as hell again. I know you did too. So it starts in the recruitment stage. Some key discussion points when you're in the recruitment stage is, what is the time commitment? What are the financial contributions expected from them? What are the network sharing expectations? And what is their role in fundraising? Which is, repeat after me, introductions and advocacy. That is their role. There will be some red flags to watch out for. Probably the biggest, and this is where role confusion can come in also, is that they want to change your mission, or they it's important that they have a vision for how they want to be in your organization, but not necessarily a vision for your organization, because you already have that. You want somebody who buys into your vision and buys into your mission that you have already very carefully crafted with previous boards. So unless you are doing a complete overhaul of your organization, which I doubt it, at least I hope not right now, then they should not have their own vision for your organization. You want them to buy into the vision you already have. What they should have, a green flag, is how they are excited or how they envision supporting your mission and supporting your vision for the organization. So that is an awesome green flag. And then when it comes to time commitment, be upfront. If all you expect is for them to attend a meeting once a month, first of all, raise your expectations, because, oh my God, that's not, you need more than that. It's more than just a meeting once a month. It's more than just one meeting and then like a committee meeting. You want them thinking about you when you're not in the room, or when they're not in the room with you, and being on the lookout for ways that they can connect you, or people who they can connect you with. So be upfront that it's more than just a meeting once a month. It's you want to be on their mind. And it doesn't mean they have to be thinking about you constantly, but you want them to consider you when they're out and about in the world. Financial contributions, some boards have board dues and others don't. Whatever you have is fine. But be upfront. If you don't have board dues, then be upfront that you expect all board members to contribute something financially. And if you have a minimum, make sure you're clear about what that is. If you don't have a minimum, make sure you're clear that you expect, and the board expects, 100% participation, and that truly it doesn't matter the dollar amount. which is what I would recommend. And then network sharing expectations, that you expect them to introduce you to however number of people. It helps to have a number because then it's a very clear measure of success. So you can say, we expect that you will introduce us over the course of the next year to at least 5 people who care about the same things we care about. Notice I did not say who can give us $10,000. So the expectation for networking is that they will introduce you to people who care about the same things. And then it's up to you to build the relationship and figure out if a donation is in the cards. And then be clear about their role in fundraising, which once again, I'm going to say it again, repeat after me or say it with me. Their role in fundraising is introductions and advocacy. All right. That's basically what I wanted to mention. So be super clear when you are in the recruitment phase. That way you don't waste a lot of time trying to get people aligned who just are not aligned. That's not helpful. And then you waste a lot of time, and then your time that you could have been spending on your mission. Okay. The next thing I want to mention, the onboarding process is a time for role clarity also. So when you onboard them, I highly recommend a board member agreement, something that they read and they sign. It's not a contract. It's not legally binding, but it is clear, and clarity is so important. Clarity, I like to say, clarity is kindness, and I am kind. Clarity is kindness, and I am kind. So be clear, be super clear, have it in writing. Here's what we expect from you, and here's what you can expect from us. We will give you the tools you need to advocate for us. We will give you the stories so that you can share with your network. So some helpful things in this board expectations document would be like, if you do have a specific number of introductions expected per quarter or per year, a clear financial commitment amount and when you expect to receive that from them. Obviously meeting attendance requirements and committee participation expectations. And actually, those are the main things. Oh, and then when you have your board orientation with them, by the way, if you're not having a board orientation, why not? What are you afraid of? That's a fear response. That when you're not clear with somebody, that is a fear response because you're afraid. Oh gosh, I feel like I really need to I'm going to hold some lava. By the way, this is my latest lava piece that I picked up from Mauna Loa. I went up Mauna Loa recently. That's where I go for, well, there are lots of places I go for spiritual connection, but I went up Mauna Loa over the weekend and saw this piece of lava, and it spoke to me and said, yes, I would love to come home with you. So I'm going to hold this for channeling the strength and commitment and that fiery death and rebirth of a lava flow. And when I say this, clarity is kindness, and you are kind. If you are not being clear with your board, you are being not only unkind to them, you are, in a sense, infantilizing them by not believing they can handle your clarity. These are professionals. Like, you want them on your board for a reason. So, and it is a fear response from you that you're afraid you'll lose them. So if you are afraid to be very clear with them about what the expectations are, that is an invitation. And this is something I work with my clients all the time. You know, they think it's about fundraising and raising money. And really, it's about uncovering what they're afraid of. and removing those blocks so they can powerfully step into their leadership and powerfully fulfill their mission. So, what are you afraid of losing? This is a great moment for, like, if you journal or have a therapist or have a coach that you work with. It's a great thing to explore with them. Is, okay, what am I afraid of losing when I am clear about my expectations? A lot of times this is covering up a fear like imposter syndrome, worthiness, a fear of overstepping your bounds, which, by the way, you're not if you're being clear about what the expectation is to serve your organization. There are a lot of fears to unpack there. And but this is why written documentation matters, because then it's not your feelings anymore. It's, hey, this is what you agreed to and you're not doing it. Or this is what you agreed to and you are doing it. And thank you. That's amazing. Thank you so much. How can we find more people like you? Let's veer into the positive lane on that for a while. Yeah, so these are some things to include in your board member agreement. Oh, let me know in the comments if you would like a template for this. I'm happy to share with you the board member agreement that I use as my baseline. Okay, and then let's talk about, let's see, ongoing reinforcement. Okay, ongoing reinforcement. I'm going to put my lava down now. Thank you so much. So ongoing reinforcement, and this is positive reinforcement. So when you're in board meetings, you want to create a culture of sharing and of openness and of celebration. Even if your organization is struggling, it helps. And this is, you know what? Go read the Happiness Advantage. Seriously. This is why the compliment sandwich or the constructive criticism sandwich is so effective, because when you hear good news or when you're happy, you're more receptive and it's easier. Your brain is more open to problem solving the bad things. So I think I did a whole episode on why you should, or a post somewhere deep in my history. There's a post about why you should deliver the good news first. So whenever you're saying, I've got good news and bad news, which one do you want first? Never give people the option, because they will always pick the bad news first. And then they are unable to actually creatively problem solve it. Always deliver the good news first. So you can say, I've got some great news, and then deliver the good news. And then you can talk about what your challenges are and where you could use some help or support, or where you're falling short of your own expectations and goals. So in your board meetings, deliver the good news first, and then you can dive in and you will much more effectively tackle your organization's challenges. Excuse me. So getting back to like board expectations, make sure those are always communicated in your board meetings, what the expectations are. And you don't have to be shitty about it. You can be professional about it. Make sure that your board has what they need also, so the tools. And then make sure you have a way to track and celebrate those successful introductions. So what we track and acknowledge is what gets done. Have you ever noticed when you say like, oh yeah, let's set up a time for lunch, or we should meet for lunch, and it never happens because you didn't actually, you're not tracking it. You didn't put it on your calendar. So in your board meetings, I think it's important to track and celebrate the successful introductions that have been made since the previous board meeting. And you don't necessarily have to name names, and you don't necessarily have to gamify it with your board and be like, so-and-so made 5 introductions this month, and so-and-so did 10 introductions for us this month. I don't think that that's particularly helpful in this context, but it is important when an introduction sticks to celebrate that, to let your board know so-and-so made an introduction and here's how the relationship is progressing. I think these are important things to report on in a board meeting. And I haven't really seen that now that I'm thinking about it, because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this too. So now I'm like, oh, I have a new way of being in a board meeting. A lot of times in board meetings, when it comes to fundraising or finances or development, the development report, it's about like how much money was raised or what campaigns are launching or what grants you submitted. And we don't really talk about who's in the pipeline or who you met, that you're excited about and why. But when you talk about that, it is very clear to your board that that's their job. And you can celebrate that and you can say, hey, so, our board member Sally introduced us to the chief marketing officer for this business that we've been trying to hook up with for sponsorship. And here's where we are in the relationship development process. And thank you so much for introducing us. I think this is really going to go somewhere. And I think if you can mention those and add those to your dashboard so that it's about the relationships you're building versus the actual money raised. I mean, money raised is important. Don't get me wrong, but money comes from people, and we have to think. This is very much a excuse me. I'm realizing this is a very much long game kind of discussion that we're having today. Wow. And I'm going very long with it. Oh my gosh, we're almost at 30 minutes. Thank you for sticking it out with me. I think this information is so important. So track and celebrate the introductions and advocacy that happens. And then what do you do if your board members are not meeting their expectations? Ooh, that's a whole nother video. I'm going to write that down as a topic for another day. Or, are you interested in that topic? Like how to address board members who are not meeting their expectations and how to do so effectively. I'm just jotting this down, not meeting. But also please comment if this is something that you want me to talk about. Because you know what I'm going to ask, you know what I'm going to say. You should know by now what I'm going to say. That I'm going to say, well, what are you doing to meet your own expectations? I know. So, all right. I think I should wrap this up. I think I should wrap this up because you're probably like almost done eating lunch now, or you're almost home if you're listening to this on your commute. But so let me just recap that it's not your board member's job to fundraise. It's their job to make introductions and advocate for your organization. And the best way to help them do this is to be very clear about what their role is versus what your role is. And your role is to be the one to ask for the money. Their role is to put you in front of the right people. And also, they don't know who the right people are, just the people who care about the same things you care about. So it starts with recruitment and onboarding, being very clear about what the expectations are, because clarity is kindness and you are kind. And then tracking and celebrating the things that you want them to do more of in your board meetings. Ooh, y'all, it is definitely hot. I'm putting my hair all the way up after this. Please comment below what resonated with you. Let me know if you want a video on how to address not meeting expectations. Also, let me know if you want a video on a more detailed look at the board agreement that I use as my template. Or if you would like the template, let me know if you would like that. There are ways that you can work with me one-on-one so you don't have to sit through these videos. so I can help you address your challenges directly. So in the description box, there are links to my funding focus consult. You are invited to book one of those with me. Normally, my hourly rate is $450 an hour. And I am here to give that to you, that consult hour, for free. So book your funding focus consult. And if fundraising isn't your main issue, that's okay too. I am a holistic executive coach, so I can help you with all kinds of things that come up in your nonprofit leadership excuse me, journey. Ooh. So, funding focus consult, and excuse me, I think I am talked out officially. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so that you know when I go live. I tend to go live on Wednesday mornings, my time, Hawaii Standard Time at 8:30. And figure that out for your own time zone. I am currently 6 hours behind Eastern Time, 3 hours behind Pacific Time. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Aloha.